You think power means owning the rules. Try owning the land. You have no right to be here. This is private property. I'm calling the cops. Victoria. Harlow's voice cuts through the afternoon heat, sharp like broken glass. Ethan Cole doesn't flinch. He stands calmly on the sunlit path, hands in his pockets, eyes steady. That's funny, he says, voice low, because I own this land, and the road your HOA's been illegally claiming. Beat of silence. Her face twists, but Ethan doesn't move. Quick cuts police lights flash. Black folder opens. Deed papers, signatures, boundaries in bold ink. Someone gasps off camera. Wait until you hear who she just tried to evict. The screen cuts to black. A single line fades in. 30 days ago, no one knew my name. The engine of an old pickup hums low as it turns into the quiet street. Dust lifts in the morning sun. Ethan Cole steps out dressed plain. Worn boots, canvas duffel in one hand, a folded map in the other. He closes the door gently, glances around, then waves at the guard station. "Morning, sir." Mr. Jenkins looks up from his clipboard. His older skin-weathered smile, polite but tired. "You renting the lake cabin?" Ethan nods. "Just for a while. Peace and quiet, that's all." They shake hands briefly. No fuss. Behind Ethan, the truck bed holds just a cooler toolbox and one wooden chair. "I didn't come to impress anyone. I came to listen." The gate buzzes open. Ethan walks through. The cabin is small. One window. No curtains. Ethan stands at the stove frying eggs in a cast-iron pan. Steam rises from a chipped mug. Coffee. Strong and plain. He carries his plate outside, sits on the porch step. Birds move in the trees. Sunlight warms the wood beneath his boots. A book rests open beside him, pages creased, corners bent. A sleek black SUV glides by. Through the tinted window, a woman in pearls glances down at him. Slow, cold, disapproving. She turns away before he can nod. Ethan doesn't react. He takes another bite, flips the page. Some people see simplicity as a flaw. I see it as clarity. The hallway light near the front gate flickers. Mr. Jenkins stands on a plastic stool stretching with old, stiff arms. Ethan walks by, pauses, then steadies the base with both hands. "Let me get that for you." They switch places. Ethan tightens a loose wire, tests the bulb. The light steadies. He hands over a cold bottle of water. "Sit a while, Mr. Jenkins." The old man smiles grateful, but he doesn't sit. Can't, son. HOA rules say no sitting while on shift. Ethan blinks, just watches him walk back to his post. Not a complaint, not a word of protest. Sometimes the smallest rules say the most about who matters and who doesn't. Maria Alvarez pushes a mop bucket toward the main building. Her uniform is clean but faded. She opens the door to the restroom marked A Block, Residents Only. A younger guard snaps at her. "Staff use the back utility washroom, you know that." Maria nods, quickly says nothing. She backs away. Across the courtyard, Victoria Harlow stands beside a luxury sedan. She laughs, handing a wrapped bottle of red wine to a tall man in a blazer. "Bradley, we appreciate residents like you, always keeping the community standards high." He smirks. "Just doing my part." Ethan watches from a distance. His gaze shifts from Maria's lowered eyes to Victoria's rehearsed smile. Some rules bend. Some people break. But not everyone gets punished. A clay pot sits beside Ethan's porch. Small wildflowers bloom, nothing fancy, just color. Victoria walks by, clipboard in hand. She stops. "That planter wasn't approved," she says flatly. "Doesn't match the community palette." Ethan looks up from sanding a wooden chair. Palette. She taps the clipboard. Colors must align with HOA guidelines. Earth tones only. He wipes his hands, glances at the flowers. Didn't know nature needed a permit. Victoria doesn't laugh. "I'll need it removed by Friday." Ethan nods once. doesn't move. She walks off without another word. Sometimes control starts small. One rule, one flower, 1 inch of color too bright. Mr. Jenkins stands near the guard post, phone pressed to his ear. His voice is low, worried. Yes, I'll try to get there soon. Tell her I'm on my way. He approaches Victoria, hat in hand. Ma'am, my wife's in the ER. Could I leave an hour early today? She doesn't look up from her clipboard. You signed the handbook. No early leaves without 48-hour notice. I didn't know she'd get sick. Victoria exhales sharp. Then maybe next time, plan better. She walks away. Mr. Jenkins adjusts his uniform, slow and quiet. Ethan watches from across the street, one hand clenched at his side. Rules without empathy are just punishments dressed in policy. Victoria's white SUV sits parked across 2 lines, blocking a fire lane, engine off, keys out, no ticket, no notice. 15 feet away, Maria leans her bike against the curb to unload trash bags. Her hands are full. She moves quickly. A junior HOA enforcer approaches, pen already out. You can't leave that there, he snaps. This isn't a bike zone. Maria lowers her head. Just 5 minutes. He writes anyway. Slips the warning under her handlebars. Ethan watches it all from the bench, silent. One vehicle breaks a rule and gets nothing. One bicycle pauses and gets fined. When power makes exceptions, it always chooses who to protect and who to punish. Maria pulls weeds near the sidewalk, sweat darkening the back of her shirt. Ethan sets a bottle of water beside her. She smiles, wipes her hands on her pants. Gracias. He crouches down beside her. Tough shift. She shrugs. Always? Do you get overtime? He asks, voice light. Maria pauses, looks down. No contract. Just cash, no papers. Ethan nods slowly, gaze steady. No benefits. She shakes her head. No voice. The silence between them holds weight. People always say some jobs are invisible. They never ask who made them that way. Tammy Reed stands at the pool gate, keys in hand. Her son, Noah, grips a bright green swim ring, goggles already on. The HOA attendant blocks the entrance. Your account shows a missed maintenance fee. No access until it's cleared. Tammy opens her wallet. Empty. It's 1 week late. I get paid Friday. I'm sorry, the attendant says, not sounding sorry. Rules are rules. Noah doesn't cry. He just looks at the water, still blue, so close. Then down at his float. Tammy touches his shoulder. Maybe next weekend, honey. They walk away slow. His flip-flops slap the concrete. Ethan watches from the shade, jaw tight. The rules never hurt the rich, only the ones too tired to fight them. Ethan pulls into a parking spot near the clubhouse. A metal sign reads, "For executive use only." He steps out slowly, locks the door, and walks away without a glance. 5 minutes later, Victoria appears. Heels clicking clipboard tight in hand. She eyes the truck like it's graffiti. "Move it," she snaps. "Now, before I report you." Ethan turns back calm. "Is it bothering someone? It violates parking protocol. Executive access only. You're not on that list." He raises an eyebrow. "No warning first. You're not entitled to one." He nods. Says nothing more. Sometimes you break a rule just to see who rushes in and who walks past. A sleek black Tesla slides into the same executive use only spot. Half the car spills into the fire lane. Engine still running. Bradley Cooper steps out, sunglasses on, phone in hand. Victoria waves from across the walkway. "Hi, Brad. Love your Tesla. New wheels." He grins. "Just picked it up yesterday." They laugh. No warning. No clipboard. From behind a nearby column, Ethan presses record on his phone. The camera catches everything. Voice, laughter, license plate. He slips the phone back into his pocket, slow and silent. If enforcement is selective, it's not protection. It's permission for some. Maria sits behind the clubhouse, wiping her eyes with the sleeve of her uniform. Her paycheck envelope is still open. It's lighter than usual. Ethan crouches beside her. What happened? She hesitates, then shows the notice. Deducted for failure to maintain pool area hygiene. Her voice cracks. I scrubbed that floor twice. She said it smelled like bleach. Ethan takes a breath steady. She blames you because no one stops her. Maria nods, too tired to answer. He looks her in the eye. You won't stay invisible forever, not while I'm here. She doesn't smile, but her hands stop shaking. When silence becomes survival, truth needs an ally. Ethan brings 2 coffees to the guard booth. Mr. Jenkins nods with a tired smile. They sit on a low step behind the post out of view. You ever get medical through the job? Ethan asks gently. Jenkins chuckles once. Nope. Part-time, technically. That's how they avoid it. Ethan frowns. At your age, that's risky. Jenkins shrugs. Served 2 tours. Navy. Thought I'd have something set up by now. He looks out toward the street. But retirement's for people who matter. Ethan says nothing for a moment. Then, you matter, Jenkins. You do. Jenkins doesn't reply. But this time he finishes the coffee. Some carry a country on their back, then get handed a broom. Ethan walks the neighborhood with his phone angled low. A clipboard leans on a porch railing, late fee $75, scrawled by hand, no official seal. He zooms in. Snaps a photo. Later, from behind a hedge, he records Victoria speaking to a resident. Well, Bradley's consistent. That's why he gets a little leeway. Click. Audio saved. Near the park gate, he photographs a paper sign taped to a metal fence, restricted non-dues. Residents not permitted. No logo. No legal reference. Back at the cabin, Ethan opens a folder on his laptop. Evidence. Folder 1. Power hides in silence until you give it a voice and a file name. Ethan sits at a small table, dim light overhead. His laptop is open folders labeled Fees, Audio, Witnesses. He clicks through screenshots, plays back a recording of Victoria's voice. We don't make exceptions for renters like her. Beside the laptop, a worn notebook, pages filled with times, names, patterns. An old plat map, unfolded lines drawn by hand, property lines, access roads, easements. He flips through one page after another, stops, stares. Something clicks. Outside, a blurred image of Victoria yelling at Maria plays again on screen. Paused mid-gesture. Sharp. Cruel. Ethan leans back. Let's see how deep the rabbit hole goes. Some people build walls. Others draw maps. 2 squad cars pull up to the main roundabout. Lights off, but the message is loud. Victoria meets them first, already speaking fast. He's harassing residents, filming without consent, possibly trespassing. Ethan stands a few feet back, arms at his sides. Calm. Still. An officer turns toward him. Sir, do you have identification? Any documents proving you live here? Ethan nods once. I do. He reaches into a folder tucked under his arm. Behind them, a few residents gather near the clubhouse steps, phones out, whispering. Victoria folds her arms, chin high. She whispers, he won't be so smug after this. Ethan hands over a sealed envelope. Everything you need's in there. When they call the law, make sure the law calls you right back. The officer flips through Ethan's documents. Eyes narrow, brows lift. Victoria steps forward. It's probably fake. He's been pretending since day one. Ethan turns to her. Calm. Certain. Sure, he says, voice even. But first, let me show you what I actually own. He unfolds a larger map from his folder creases, worn lines clear. Red markings trace around a street's easements, utility corridors. The officer reads aloud. Landowner Ethan Cole. Includes main entry road, North Lake access, and perimeter trails. Murmurs rise from the small crowd. Victoria goes pale. This can't be right. Ethan looks at her, not angry, just done. It's been right for 82 years. Pretending doesn't last long when the paperwork's older than you. A dark sedan pulls up. Cassandra Lee steps out sharp suit, no small talk. She walks straight to the officer's, hands over a leather folder. Full land history transfer deeds, HOA lease agreements signed, stamped, archived. The officer flips through, quickly nods. So, the HOA, rents usage rights. Cassandra nods. Correct. They manage access and maintenance, but only under strict covenants, and they've violated several. Victoria stares speechless. Cassandra turns to her measured. You've been enforcing rules on land that was never yours. The crowd behind them grows. Phones record. Whispers turn into reactions. Ethan stays quiet, gaze steady. Victoria takes a step back. One hand slips off her clipboard. She built her power like a fence. Too bad she never checked who owned the ground beneath it. The community room is full. Folding chairs, crossed arms, curious eyes. Ethan stands at the front with a small projector. He doesn't raise his voice. He doesn't need to. Some of you know. Some of you felt it. Now it's time to see it. The first clip plays Victoria yelling at Maria by the restroom. Next, Bradley parking illegally greeted with praise. Then, Mr. Jenkins being denied time off for his wife's emergency. Each clip lands heavier than the last. The room stays silent. Cassandra sits in the back, arms folded, watching everything. Victoria doesn't speak, doesn't move. Truth doesn't need a stage. Just a screen, a room, and people ready to look. Victoria stands up, voice tight. All of this is taken out of context. Every HOA needs structure. Order. I followed protocol. Murmurs ripple through the crowd. Cassandra flips open a binder. Calm. Unshaken. Section 6.2. Misuse of administrative authority. Section 9.4. Discriminatory enforcement of policy. Section 12.1. Unauthorized collection of fees. Each citation lands like a gavel. You didn't follow protocol, you bent it for those who benefited you, and punished those who couldn't push back. A hand raises in the crowd. Then another. Voices grow. She fined me for late rent I already paid. I was denied access to the gym for 3 months. Victoria's mouth opens, then closes again. When the rules finally speak, the silence breaks. A pause fills the room. Then, from the back, Mr. Jenkins stands, hands shaking slightly. Uniform worn but clean. He clears his throat. 10 years I've stood at that gate. Rain, heat, holidays. His voice cracks just once. No insurance, no benefits, no voice, just rules. He looks at Ethan, then at the crowd. This is the first time I feel heard. Silence. Then a sniffle. A hand covers a mouth. Maria wipes her eyes quietly. A teenage boy in the back lowers his head. No shouting. Just stillness and the weight of truth. It's not power that moves people. It's dignity. Finally, given a voice. Victoria turns without a word. Face, pale eyes fixed on the door. The room stays quiet as she walks out. Her heels clack sharply, then stutter. The clipboard slips from her hand, hits the floor with a flat thud. Papers scatter, unsigned notices, violation slips, blank fines. One page lands near Ethan's boot. A slow shot lingers on her shoes, once spotless now, caked in dried mud from the lake path. Each step echoes softer, swallowed by the hallway. No one follows. The clipboard stays where it fell. Power, built on fear, always leaves something behind when it leaves, usually silence. At first, it's just one pair of hands, then two. Then the whole room joins in. Applause swells not loud or wild, but full, measured, real. Mr. Jenkins bows his head, glasses fogged. He wipes his eyes with the back of his hand. I didn't think this day would come, he whispers. Maria stands beside him. No words. Just presence. Ethan doesn't step forward, doesn't speak. He simply lowers his head, exhales softly. A faint smile touches the corner of his lips, quiet earned. No speeches, no triumph pose, just relief in the room like air finally let in. Justice doesn't always roar, sometimes it just lets people breathe again. The scent of cut grass lingers in the air. Birdsong blends with distant laughter from the park. A new sign hangs just outside the community hall resident council meeting. All voices welcome. Inside, sunlight pours through wide windows. The new board sits half longtime residents to staff in uniform. Maria takes notes with a quiet focus. Jenkins sits at the back, hands folded still as ever. Later, Ethan hands him a sealed envelope. Full-time contract, health included, backdated to last month. Jenkins opens it. Fingers tremble. Eyes wet but proud. "Thank you." Ethan nods. "You earned it. Years ago." A breeze drifts through the room. The air feels lighter, softer. The best kind of power isn't taken. It's shared and finally handed back to those who kept things standing. A breeze carries the smell of pine and fresh paint. Maria stands near the toolshed, sunlight on her face. She opens a small envelope inside one extra month's pay and a handwritten note for everything they missed. "Thank you." She holds it to her chest, eyes closed just a moment, then returns to sweeping the walkway, humming softly. Across the green, the pool gate clicks open. Noah bolts through, floaty, swinging laughter bursting out. Tammy follows, sandals in hand, joy spilling from her smile. Kids splash, shriek, call to each other free. No guards, no warning signs, just water and sunshine. Noah leaps in, arms out like wings. Tammy watches from the edge, feet dangling, eyes glistening. Ethan leans against a tree, coffee in hand. Just watching. Justice isn't loud. Sometimes it's just a kid finally allowed to swim. The gate creaks open under golden morning light. A breeze rustles soft leaves. Children's voices echo faintly from the lake. A new banner flutters over the entrance. "Thank you, Mr. Cole," the quiet resident who changed everything. Neighbors walk past with coffee dog strollers. Some smile, others stop to read it again. One couple ties the banner tighter, laughing in the breeze. Ethan passes through in his flannel and boots. Steam rises from his mug. He glances up at the sign, then down again, sheepish. Grateful. Maria waves from the corner. Jenkins offers a sharp salute. There are no speeches, no loud endings. Just a name steady in the wind. And a community breathing freely again. You don't have to be loud to leave something standing. You just have to stand. Inside the cabin, it's quiet again. The windows open. Pines whisper outside. Ethan sits at the small desk, pen in hand, leather-bound journal open. He writes slowly, each line steady. Justice isn't loud. Sometimes it walks in with work boots and a map. Sometimes it stays quiet long enough to listen first. He closes the book gently, sets it beside the old surveyor's map. Steam curls from his coffee. A woodpecker taps somewhere beyond the trees. No alarms, no orders, just stillness. Ethan leans back, exhales. Peaceful. Fixing what's broken doesn't always mean breaking things. Sometimes it just means showing up and not leaving. Ethan adjusts the small camera on the table just enough to frame his face. He sits straight, calm, no script. His voice is quiet but clear. You'll come across a system that looks fine, until you ask who built it and who it's built against. A pause. His eyes don't shift. You'll either become Victoria holding rules like weapons, or stand up like Jenkins, quiet, steady, and still here after the noise fades. He leans forward just a little. You don't need a badge to be fair. You just need a spine. The screen holds on him. No background music, no fade. Your turn. Ethan's voice softens. One last frame. One last question. Have you ever been ignored? Because your job didn't come with a title, because you didn't look like you belonged. He looks directly into the lens. You ever been silenced just because you didn't seem important enough? A pause. Bare, honest. Comment, me too. And share this with someone who deserves to be heard. The screen fades to black. No music. just silence and space for voices to rise. The louder the world gets, the more we owe it to listen to the quiet ones.